Someone was just screaming outside. Someone just screamed again. Let's get back to the video. Okay, so where was I? So a few weeks ago, I was supposed to make this video about my thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2. I had a simple video thought of. I was just going to give some simple commentary, and then it happened. Nintendo announced that the Nintendo Switch 2 would be selling first party games for $80. And then gamers lost their collective minds. They started going off in Nintendo streams, especially at the Clubhouse one where they were talking about all the games and basically chanting or protesting and saying, Nintendo, you need to lower the prices. Then I started thinking, were gamers actually justified in their anger? So I was born in '87. So the first console I can remember having was the Nintendo Action package combo thingy. It came with the NES, obviously, 2 controllers, the Nintendo Zapper, and Super Mario and Duck Hunt on 1 cartridge. And at the time, the retail price for that combo was about $109, which is about $300 in today's money. The next console I remember us having was the NES. Well, the S and ES. That Christmas will be one I will never forget. I remember waking up and all I heard was like this kind of cool melody, and then I heard this weird sound, and it was actually Mario's spin attack. I ran out in that living room, and then I saw Mario in his 16-bit glory, and I was done after that. I played that game so many times that I literally know every level by heart, how to get to the Star World, all the little secret paths you can take. I know it all. And it wasn't just Super Mario. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Donkey Kong Country. Those 3 core games, that was all I played. Now, game prices back then could range around between 40 to $100, depending on how popular the game is, how rare it is, different factors like that. Mind you, this is like the wild, wild west of gaming still, because you have Sega with Sonic and all the craziness that's going on over there. Me, I was a Nintendo kid. Sonic was like second best. Now let's move on to the N64 generation. That's a generation I skipped for one reason. That's PlayStation. Not only was PlayStation offering some of the games that Nintendo already had, but it was also offering cheaper games. How could they give us cheaper games? Because they were printed on discs. The disc also offered more storage than a cartridge. So why would you make games for Nintendo, pay them more money when you can move over to PlayStation, pay less money in order to put your game on a disc, and you can get it to more people because you can stamp out more discs than you can make cartridges. Also, let's be real. The PlayStation was just cooler. You can bring your friends over, pop in a music CD. They'd be like, what the hell are you doing? Pop that music CD in there, press play. You were the shit. I gotta mention the games too. Don't get me wrong, N64 had Super Mario 64, the very first Smash Bros, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark, but we had Bloody Roar, Twisted Metal, Grand Theft Auto, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon. Come on, man. Like, there was like just more games. Oh, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. There was just more variety of games and more games that, us older kids wanted to play. Okay, let's move on to 2001 and the launch of the Nintendo GameCube. It was $200 for the console at the time, and games were about $50 a pop because they finally woke up and decided to use discs. But then they also basically did something stupid and used mini discs. Again, the PlayStation 2 came out. Not only could we play music this time, but we can play full-blown movies on a new format, DVD. But don't get me wrong, I loved my Nintendo GameCube. I'm not gonna hate. I had games like Star Fox Legends, Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, Beautiful Joe. GameCube has some good games. It's just that stupid mini disc format. It was just dumb. Smash Bros. Melee. Everybody had a GameCube for Melee. Come on, man. All right. I'm going to stop mentioning Nintendo not letting me play my music or my movies because clearly they didn't care. Let's just move on from that. So now we're on to the Wii's life cycle. Another Nintendo console I skipped because I thought the whole motion gaming gimmick was just that, a gimmick. It wasn't for me. Also, Nintendo kept their prices at $50 as Xbox and PlayStation moved their games up to $60 until that redheaded stepchild known as the Wii U. Let's just get it over with, okay? The Wii U was a disaster. All right. I kind of like the Wii U. I know I like all the stupid Nintendo decisions. The Wii U held a special place in my heart. Look, it was like having a DS on your TV. The Wii U came out, and then they raised their prices up to $60 to match the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox. Hopefully you're catching on to where I'm going with this video. And now we've arrived at this current slash last generation of games with the PS4, Xbox One, current generation PS5 and Xbox Series, and we have the Switch. And games are $60 to $70 a pop. And then Nintendo finally released their first $70 game in this generation with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. People were pissed. But PlayStation and Xbox games were $70. So I don't get where you guys were pissed. I say all that to say this. Gaming costs are going up. We have tariffs being imposed. We had a medical crisis a few years back that shall not be named. And yet game prices have remained stagnant. So something was going to break. And Nintendo was the first to break it. But let's be real here. Xbox is going to follow suit. Sony's going to follow suit. And every other game developer is going to follow suit. So you could be mad at Nintendo. But it was going to happen with somebody at some time. So does it really matter? And let's be honest, this is a first world problem. Gaming is a luxury. But to have this collective outrage is just unnecessary, and it's BS. And it's so much BS that Nintendo's pre-orders are all gone. All right, you guys, I got like 2 more videos to make, so let me hop to it. Bye.